All right, so the lesson activity is an activity that's really designed to teach students something. Duh, that's why it's called a lesson activity, right? So I'm in our sandbox class, I'm logged in as me, and I am going to turn editing on. So we have editing going on, and I'm going to go down here to this learning section on guitars, and let's add an activity. I'm going to click here to add a lesson. If you forget what a lesson is, there's the overview of what a lesson is. I'm going to click add. And let's say we're going to start instructing students about guitars. So the two main types of guitars. That's what our lesson is going to be called. And let's say in this lesson, tell them in the description, they're going to learn about the two types of guitars in a rock band, the electric guitar and the bass guitar. And of course, come on, you got to put in some pictures. So I'm going to insert a picture of an electric guitar. Oh, let's do a bass guitar as well. And there we go. And in fact, let's get rid of that one, and let's put in a better one for our guitar. There. Good. So now we've got our guitars, and of course I'm going to one-click on it, and I'm going to turn on that description for my visually impaired student. So that's an electric guitar. And then down here, I'm going to click on it and then click on the image and call that a bass guitar, of course, because I definitely want to include my visually impaired students. And so I've got the title, I've got a brief description of what the lesson is, and then I'm going to save and display. All right, so now what you're going to get here is, right now, if I were to click on the preview tab, I get nothing. Well, that's because I haven't created the lessons yet. And I want you to think of a lesson as kind of like a slideshow, a linear slideshow, slide after slide after slide. And the difference is at the end of, after each content page, we can always think about adding a question, a check for understanding. For right now, I want you to ignore import questions and add a cluster. Right now, we're only going to really focus on adding content, stuff that the student will read or a video that the student will watch, and then add a question page, as in a check for understanding. So I'm going to add a content page. Introducing the electric guitar, and this is where we would put content for the student to read or watch. All right, and I'm just going to put in lots of content, fake content. All right, and let's say right here is where we're going to insert a video of some sort. All right, so I'm going to go over here to YouTube, and let's go and let's do electric guitar. And here, that's a good one. I'm going to pause. I don't need to watch the ad. I'm just going to click on share. I'm going to grab the embed code. I'm going to click copy, and I'm going to put the image, the video, right here. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to add my thing, and I'm going to look for where there it is right there. And I'm going to paste it in, and I'm going to close that code, and there it is. Check that out. And oh heck, let's just make sure all of that is paragraph. All right. So anyway, so here is the content page. It's really just stuff for the kid to read, maybe watch a little video. Now down here, I can have some stuff. So it's a content. I could say next page. Boom, and it would go to the next page. Now, if that's all I want, I'm not ready to ask any questions. I'm going to click Save. Now, if at any time I want to see what that's going to look like, I can always click this magnifying glass. And as the student, I can see that the student is going to see some content, watch a video, and then at this point is just going to click the next page to go to the next page. Right now it says end of lesson because we only had a one-page lesson. So I'm going to go back to the edit, And another thing for you to see is two different kinds of view. The collapsed view, which is what we're currently looking at, or the expanded view, which gives me access to all of the slides, but in an expanded view so I can see the content of each of the slides. Let's add another page. So I am going to make sure, right over here, add a new, what am I going to add? Oh, I can either add a new page, cluster page. I want a content page. There we go. And let's do some more information about electric guitars. All right. And here I can do some more content. Right. And then at the bottom, I might say, when was the first guitar invented? All right, so maybe at some point I had the first electric guitar was invented on blah, 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 some sort of year. All right. So down here, what I can do is I can give some years. I could say 1952, in which case, or I could say 1948, or I could say 1932. Okay, so I've got these three different years. Now, let's pretend the correct answer is 1948. I don't know what the right answer is. Who cares? All right, so I want that one to be the only one that allows the student to go to the next page. All of these, because this is the wrong answer, I'm going to have the student stay on this page. And this one as well, stay on this page because it's the wrong answer. So the right answer is going to allow the student to progress in the lesson. I'm going to click Save. And so now we have two two pages in our lesson. And the idea is we could just continue on this way, building the lesson as much as we want. I can add another content page, the bass guitar, and I can go here. This is information about the bass guitar. And of course, I can have content right here and just make sure it's in paragraph form. And heck, if I want to, I can drag in, here's a bass guitar. And of course, remember, I'm going to make a description, bass guitar, for my visually impaired students. I wanted to make sure it was like 250 as my size, and I can hit Save. All right, so there's my information about the guitar. And remember, if I don't really want to assess anything, I'll just put next, and then it'll go to the next page. If I don't want to assess anything, if I want to assess something, I might end with some sort of question and then give multiple choices here as the option. I'm going to click Save. Now, next. Now, if I want to add a question, I can down here, just because now we want to kind of assess some sort of understanding. So we have a variety of kinds of questions I might want to use. Multi-choice is what we've kind of been doing already. I could do a numerical, short answer, true or false, a variety of different kinds of questions to check for understanding. Let's just do a multiple choice question. Check for understanding. What type of guitar is this? All right, and then I might drag in this picture right here. I want to make sure I turn on the description. Now I'm going to put bass guitar, but the students aren't going to see that. And down here for my multiple choice, I can call that bass guitar, in which case I'm going to have them move to the next page because that's the correct answer. In fact, I can even give them feedback right here. Right here. Now you'll notice the difference between a question and just a regular content page. Here, the lesson can start adding points, and these points from the lesson can actually go into the grade book, the Moodle grade book. So I'm going to say electric guitar, and since it's the wrong answer, I'm going to give it a score of 0, and I'm going to maintain that we stay on this same page. And I might say fiddle, and that's also wrong. So I'm going to say wrong as my feedback and give it a 0 and stay on this page, and I'll click on save. And so now if I want to expand the view, the preview, I can see each page, what's going to happen. And then if I want to, I could preview it as a student, which is kind of a cool feature. Click the next page. Here's some content. When was the first guitar invented? Here's some bass guitar. Let's just click the next button. Ooh, here's my check for understanding. It's a question page where what type of guitar is this? And it's a multiple choice where if I get the right answer, it says the response is correct, and as a student, that point, that score is going to go into my report card, into my grade book for Moodle. Now that is what a lesson is all about. It's right here. Now we can change some settings. So let's go to the settings, and I can change the appearance. I can make sure there's a progress bar so students can see that they're 25% of the way, 50% of the way, etc. I can make it available from a certain period of time, calendar days. The flow control, I'm not going to allow the student to control it. I want to try and control that flow. And then restricting access, and there's a whole variety of options that we can set up here, right? And that is a lesson.